Welcome back to GoldSeek TV. I'm here with the president and CEO of Kootenay Silver, Jim McDonald. Thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, Peter, yeah, it's great to be here.
It's an exciting time for Kootenay. You're actively drilling, and you had some really big drill results out last week. Over, I believe it was a kilo a ton I hit there on the D veins. So if you can give us an update to what you are discovering and what you're hitting at the Columba project, because I believe there's more to this headline.
Yeah. So this program here is about a 12 hole program, 3,000 meters we're doing, and we released 3 holes a few weeks ago. And a highlight hole out of that round was 13.5 meters of just under 600 grams per ton. And there was over 8 meters of about 858 grams per ton. So this release here is following up on that. And the highlight hole there is 141, hole 141. It's one of the deepest holes on the D vein right now. And it is running 9.67 meters of 510 grams per ton. And inside that is that over a kilo, 1,142 grams per ton over 2.37 meters. So just another incredible hole, really good width, really good grade. And one of the things I want to point out here about the D vein is we now have, what do we have? About 5 or 6 more holes here coming. And every single hole we've drilled is hitting that D vein where we expect it, and we're hitting good widths everywhere. So it's a matter of assays. Now this vein is so far very predictable. It's got where it's going to be. The widths are good, and going back to some of the other highlight holes from last year, one of the very best holes to date was that in the D vein. And it's even deeper than this hit we just released, slightly deeper. And it ran 34 meters, a half kilo. And there was almost 2.5 meters of nearly 6 kilos per ton in that particular hole. So there's some, so many holes now with good grade, excellent grades, in fact, and really good widths here that this vein is looking very, very, very prospective.
Juicy. There was something mentioned in the release that you also intersected some other veins you weren't expecting, or what was that?
Yeah, we're starting to see that. There's on both sides of the D vein, and they're on what we call the upper side or the hang wall side, we're getting grades there from 300 to 500 grams in the hang wall vein. And we don't know how it all connects together yet, but that's quite encouraging. And then on the other side, on the footwall side, we're seeing vein material show up there. It's different vein. So that's not unusual for these epithermal systems. The D vein, we can see at surface, but we're hitting things you don't see at surface, sort of blind discoveries, if you will. And we've got a similar thing happening in that historically worked vein called the F vein, where we've got a hang wall vein there that's grading up over 800 grams per ton over a couple meters. So you can get a lot of very pleasant surprises in these epithermal systems, and sometimes the very best zones don't even show themselves at surface. So just underscores the potential of the whole project, really.
So to maybe step back and talk about the potential of this project for those who are not so familiar, there is no resource update or resource on this project. You have discovered quite a few veins and are working through this exploration process. So if you give us more of a bigger overview of the Columba project.
Yeah, so the geologically it's a really interesting project because it's almost entirely preserved and has suffered almost no erosion in terms of the veins. And so whatever was deposited there originally is still there. That's one thing. That's pretty exciting. The other thing is that now we have mapped this system out and see a footprint there that's about 4 kilometers by 3 kilometers. So that's now on the scale with some districts that have pretty big ounces in them, like the Panuca district of Vizsla Silver, which is over 200 million ounces, and the Las Chispas, the mine of Silvercrest, which the resource there is well over 100 million ounces. And the size of that vein system footprint, that is, of those two, are similar to what we have. And so we have the scope of size to have something that could be 100 million ounces of silver or multiples thereof. And with the drilling we have, we see a real possibility of getting to that 100, and then we certainly think we see the potential for going even beyond that. Now we have to drill prove all that. But when we're getting into a vein like the D vein with great widths and great grades, that can add up in a hurry. So we're really excited about the project, and we've got more assays to come on the D vein on this round. And then once we're finished up, we'll come back in next year. We want to come back in with a bigger program and get a maiden resource out for late next year.
Excellent. So before that maiden resource comes out, what is a total ounces, silver equivalent ounces the company is sitting on with all the various projects?
So we can't speak to Columba ounces, so we don't have density of drilling there really or a report that's done yet. But in terms of the 3 deposits that we have, La Ciguera, and then there's a property with 2 deposits, Promontorio La Negra, they total 214 million silver equivalent ounces in the measured indicated category alone. On those 2 projects. So we get tremendous leverage from the silver price because of that.
So that hasn't been very helpful in the last year with the silver price kind of lower 20s, but we're starting to get indications that the silver price might make a move here. The gold price is near record highs, and the silver price has got some strong fundamentals underpinning it. So I would imagine, as we have talked about in the past, you have structured the company to have quite a leverage to the silver price. So that is kind of what the value appeal, or what the Kootenay silver has been developed for.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've made these discoveries and found a lot of ounces. So resources, and we've got a very large silver bank, if you will, in the resources in the 3 different deposits. So we attract a lot of investors who are merely looking for leverage to the silver price. And so now, in addition to that, we got this great explosive growth potential in the new discovery at Columba. And there's nothing like high-grade ounces because they work at every kind of silver price. So we're pretty excited. We're offering these 2 aspects. It's not just the silver price anymore, but it's this new high-grade discovery.
Yes, so I think that's a very important aspect. Okay, so as you mentioned, this is a project that looks like it could develop, and with the high-grade results that you're receiving, into a project like you said with Silvercrest and other high-grade projects that do quite well even in a silver price where other projects are breaking even when it's low 20 silver. So this is a pretty exceptional potential future silver mine that obviously you still have a lot more to prove it there, but it's giving indications of that. This is starting from near surface, correct, too? This is I believe from the past, looking at it, it's a caldera where these veins are sitting in, contained.
Yeah, it is. It's like a candy store for the geologist because there's so much geology preserved there, and you're seeing the epithermal vein system from the very tip top of it. So, and it's exposed in a caldera. And the important thing about that caldera is the bottom of it is the erosional low, and it's just exposed the top part of the veins where they're starting to be well developed and contain silver and have good grade. So you just barely exposed it for discovery. And that's what the old timers found. And now what we've found is that those structures go a long way on surface, you just don't see the veins. You can see the structure because you get too high in elevation and your vein's not exposed anymore, but it's there. And so we now see the overall scope of the vein system, and it's of the size of these other projects. And so that gives us an indication of what the ultimate size might be like. It could be pretty big.
Well, we have some initial excellent drill results coming from the D vein. You mentioned more assay results still pending from this program. And then from that, you're going to go ahead and look at the results and work on another program for 2024. And then from, what kind of maybe time frame do you, ballpark maybe would you expect a resource completed?
Would like to see one out by this time next year.
Okay, sorry, you did mention next year, so it's a big milestone coming up for this project, and hopefully with a supportive silver price, it'll start to reflect more in the share price. I know the whole sector has been kind of left for nothing recently, but there are indications now that the interest is returning. So it's great to see you active drilling again and some exciting results. So we'll have to follow up and see how these continue. But it sounds like this is, as you mentioned at the start of the interview, you're drilling and hitting. It's as you expected. There's no surprises. This D vein is really coming together as you had anticipated.
Yeah, that's right. So now let's see what the assays are. That's the
Excellent. Well, Jim, thank you very
let's
much
You're welcome. Thanks.
for giving us this update. I know you're on the road and at another investor conference there, so hopefully you get some excellent reception with those kind of results. I'm sure there's going to be some questions. So thank you for giving us some insights, and look forward to following up soon.
Yeah, you're welcome.